Hey guys, Justin Russell here with RMP. Going to talk about a brand new series of Lowrance products for the value-minded, also known as entry-level products. So today we're going to be doing an installation of these on an aluminum boat right here. First things we're going to be doing here is we've got a Hook2 split shot HDI meaning down imaging and 2D sonar. That's going to be going on the trolling motor. And I've got a Hook2 7 triple shot. Now triple shot being down imaging, side imaging, 2D sonar, and one transducer. That's going to be going at the console. Now these are standalone units, meaning they are not networkable units. So again, key features for this boat, not going to be able to share waypoints or mapping on it, but still, this is a value-minded product. This Hook2 7 is going to retail for $699. The Hook5 here, split shot, is going to be under $500. So really cool key features that we're going to be installing in this boat. First thing we're going to start with is our console unit. And the first thing I'm going to do is the transducer. So I'm going to kick this 5 to the side. We'll see it up front in a second. Going to pull out our unit here. So got our head unit here. This is what's interesting, guys. So this is the brand new triple shot transducer. Now, the cool thing that I'm really happy about this is, look at the size of that plug. So it's a lot smaller than what we're used to seeing from Lowrance in the past. So running through a conduit here when it comes to rigging on this boat, running this through there and snaking it's going to make it a lot simpler for us. Got our main mounting bracket here, which if you guys would notice, it's the exact same mounting bracket as an HDS 7, as an Elite 7 Ti, and also as a Hook 7 mounting bracket as well. So I'm glad to see that they're sticking with some of the same stuff. Got our knobs, transducer mounting bracket, and our power cable. Again, super small, easy to run, easy to pull through power cable. So step number 1, and I did get a little lucky on this boat. A main thing about it here, we've already had some stuff that's been previously run. I'm actually going to be able to use the exact same transducer holes that I've already in this boat. So this boat had a Lowrance product on it. We're going back with another Lowrance product. The mounting bracket is going to be the exact same, so I can use the same holes. So it's going to save us time, money, and more importantly, we're not drilling more holes into this boat than we originally need to. So that's good. Well guys, the first thing we're going to start with, I removed the old transducer. It was actually on a unit that's no longer functioning. Ignore this transducer over here. Installed incorrectly, was not installed by us. I was actually installed by the previous owner of this boat. So anyway, remove the old transducer. You can see I've got 4 holes right here. The bottom 2 holes are what we're going to be concerned with when it comes to mounting that transducer. Now we're mounting the triple shot transducer, so down imaging, side imaging, and 2D sonar. The important thing to remember is I want that transducer actually sticking below the bottom of the boat a little bit. And the reason for that is when we're up on plane running around, we're still going to be able to pick up our 2D sonar. Now, your ideal imaging speed for your side imaging and down imaging is around 4 to 5 miles an hour. So the key to this is we want it mounted low enough that it'll read very well for us when we're running down the lake for our 2D sonar. But you don't want to mount it so terribly low that it's going to be getting an obstruction, possibly breaking the transducer and things along those lines. So the nice thing that I will say is I'm glad to see a metal transducer on this part right here. They've had some other total scan transducers out there that are completely composed of plastic, and these have been breaking. So I think they've made a really strong choice and a really good choice by making this part out of metal, and obviously that's a lot thicker plastic if you guys can see that there. So what I'm going to do first, I've got some silicone here. Bottom 2 holes is all I'm concerned about right now. I'm going to fill those holes with silicone. Again, these have been previously drilled. And if you're doing this on a fiberglass boat and there's no holes, check out some of our other videos. We've got stuff, I believe, on how to install an LSS2 transducer. We'll show you how to drill the holes, how to countersink them correctly so they won't crack. Again, fill them with silicone. So we're going to screw this into place here. And I'm not going to fully screw this in. I'm actually going to leave it a little bit loose here once we get the other side going as well. And I want to do that so I can measure my movement here before we screw everything into place. All right. Now, for you guys wondering what these other two screw holes are for, that's actually where we're going to put a zip tie. So we're going to zip tie here, just like on this side. Zip ties have two holes in them, or excuse me, a hole in them. Run a screw through it, and it'll help run our cabling up and into the boat. So I'll put this part of the transducer up in the back. Gauge through. Run our bolt through there. Forgot a washer. Now again, I'm going to leave this stuff loose. And what I'm looking for, so I'm going to be gauging for the angle of how this is coming off the bottom of the boat. So I want to make sure we're level. That's about as level as we're going to get right there. And now I'm looking for the height. You don't want it so low that it's going to grab water. So you don't want it all the way down. That's almost the whole transducer. What I'm looking for is about halfway through the transducer is where I want the bottom of the boat. And there's a seam right on here on the edge of this transducer. I want that seam to be even with the bottom of the boat. And we are there. So I'm going to tighten down one side, come back, tighten down the other side. So as you can see, we'll have a zip tie coming in here with a screw, hold that wire in place right there. We'll have them coming in the top. Next, we're going to force feed this all the way through and pull that through onto the boat. So you're going to need a fish tape. Sometimes the boats have ropes already run through them. What I'm going to do for here is, this is the old transducer that was mounted. It's already been ran for me. So I'm actually going to tape the end of our new transducer. And what I'm going to do is tape the end of the new transducer to the old transducer cable and pull it through the boat this way. So it's going to kill two birds with one stone. Get rid of the old transducer cord and very easily run the new one through since it's already been ran. So let's grab some tape and we'll run it on through. All right guys, so we've got our new triple shot transducer mounted on the transom. I've been pulling wire through. For most of you guys at home, myself included, this is the biggest pain in the ass part. Sometimes this really sucks. So this boat I think is like a 99. It's had a lot of wire pull through here. The conduit pipe is like, seems like it's this big, and I got steering cables going through it. I got our control cables for the helm going through it. So there's a little opening like right here. I don't know if you can see my hand or not, but it's literally right here. So I'm using the old transducer wire that was originally in the boat that was no good, so we're replacing it anyway, and I'm using that to pull the new transducer through. And since I have a hole here, I'm going to pull this through in sections. Okay, so I've got this part. So now I've got from the transom run to here. Next I'm going to go from here to underneath the dash, and then finally from underneath the dash to on top here. So the new Hook2 7 triple shot we're going to mount on the dash right here. So again, this is a pain in the ass. This can be really frustrating. We've had boats that have had mud dauber's nests in the conduit. It can be a nightmare. Sometimes it goes really easy. If you can see on my hands, multiple cuts already from working on this thing. So anyway, next, gonna make sure we got enough wire pulled through. Again, sometimes it's easier to have two people with this. What you guys can't see is I've got Aaron here, who's manning the camera, helping me feed this through right now, and he's smiling at me, so that's a good sign. So, all right, got plenty of cable, finally pulled through. So now we're gonna dig underneath this console, figure out where these wires come down into here in this wiring loom mess over here, Gotta love older boats with old wiring. So we're gonna dig through that, pull our transducer cable up to the top here. Again, removing the old transducer cable. Next, we'll show how to hook up the power wire for this, mount the mounting bracket, and then I think we're gonna be ready to turn this bad boy on. All right, everyone, so again, I told you it's normally the biggest pain in the ass part is running the transducer cable. It was. I actually had to take the side panel off, and Ron, my camera guy, had to help me with it. So anyway, got it ran. Transducer cords run through the hole. Next, before we do anything else, we got to at least fish this power cable back down through. So we're going to go up to where the old graph was mounted, and obviously it's already off. We've got a transducer cord coming through. Now we're going to fish the power cord through there, and then we got to mount the mount, if that makes sense. So all right, so there's our power cable. Here's our transducer end. I'm gonna pull those up, set those back there. Take our mounts. We actually got pretty lucky on this. The mounting bracket, even though this unit is like 20 years newer, actually has the exact same hole pattern as the old bracket. So there's already holes in the dash. We're basically gonna be able to use the same bracket and cover it up. So I've got 4 screws here just to temporarily place it. Now, traditionally we would bolt, washer, and nut it. So we're gonna screw it in using the exact same screw holes. Then we'll be ready to just power up with the power supply underneath the dash. We'll show you how to do that next, and then we'll be ready to check it all out. That was a fail. All right, I'm getting a little old for this, but we're underneath the dash here. Excuse this nasty wiring mess. We will take care of this before we get this boat back to the customer. Believe me, it's irritating me. But anyway, we already have a power supply again underneath here from the old graph. So we're just simply going to be cutting and splicing for the new graph. So I've got the old transducer cable right here. Red is hot. Black is ground, negative. So cut that right there. Get rid of that old cord out of our way. We're just going to be using splice connectors. Oh man, definitely getting too old for this Ron. All right guys, so got our connectors. So strip that wire off there. One. There's the other one. And as you already remember, we already ran our power cable. So find the hot meaning power, being red. Put our butt connector on. And crimp it. Always like to do a pull test. Got the negative for black. All right, pull test on that. Now red to red and black to black. Pull test is good. And black to black. Oh. All right, now we're ready to actually mount the graph and power it up and actually see the fun stuff. All right, transducer plug is in, power cable in, tighten down, and unit is on.